Hey everyone. So right from the jump, we learned the name of Akira's aunt, Riona Cow, and that she's Akira's aunt. And I said it last episode, so I'll say it here as well. Taro really stepped into it with this one. In fact, revealing he knew Rion led to an even worse case scenario than he could have imagined, as apparently Akira thinks Rion is alive. So yeah, the question is just how he navigates that question, and just how that whole conversation plays out. Because at some point, it doesn't matter if he reveals it or not to her. At some point, it's going to be revealed that Rion is dead. Like that's just kind of inevitability of it, and I think just keeping it from her is only going to make for longer is going to make things worse. Un- and unfortunately, as far as the anime goes, we won't know that for a while because I'm nearing the end of this arc in the manga, and even I still don't know how this conversation went down, and we probably won't know until part two of this arc, which anime-wise, we won't probably know until season two, And side note, I'm definitely gonna have to put the anime reviews on pause until bare minimum I'm done with this reading this arc in the manga. Although, given how much this episode adapted, I think I might need to read a little bit of the next arc too. With that said, this episode also covered the battle between Shin and Nao, and I said this in the manga, but I'll say it here too. I'm convinced Suzuki has had more than his fair share of run-ins with fans like Nao, because that's the only way I can see how he managed to be so in-depth with the portrayal of Nao's character psychology. Like, Nao is someone who clearly has a perception of Taro Sakamoto. The idea that he is this perfect being who can do no wrong and makes no mistakes. It's the idea that she's taken the image of Taro being the ultimate assassin and thinks of him like a god in her mind, and she's just kind of, and the thing is, she's twisted it around her perceptions that she knows everything there is to know about Taro Sakamoto, that she is the ultimate fan just based on that one encounter. Now, I don't think I need to mention how every little bit of this perception is flawed. Every bit of this perception and just Nao's logic is flawed, but it is, as what she perceives as being the ultimate fan, the only one who understands who Taro Sakamoto is. All of it is her just her is just her pretty much living vicariously through that image of the man himself. And I do like how this does contrast with Shin during their fight, as once upon a time, while not as obsessed as now, it is fair to say that he was also a Sakamoto fanboy. Kind of still is, but he basically, but like, he had this very specific image of Taro in his head. The difference being between Shin and Nao is that Shin Shin throughout the series has had time to know the man behind the mystique, to understand who Taro Sakamoto is as a person. Whereas now doesn't have that perspective. She basically she only knows who Taro is through basically one encounter, and not even really, and that one encounter just isn't enough to know who the man is himself at this point. Although I guess it is also fair to say that, judging from that very small flashback early on, there's still things Shin has yet to learn from has yet to learn as well. Like, he definitely for as much as Shin has gotten to know Taro through pretty much his life now and his family and whatnot, there are things about his past he doesn't know. And again, it's getting to the point, it's getting to a breaking point where I think where all of that is going to need to come to light. Like, Taro is going to have to come clean about his past. Now, let's talk about the bigger reveal. Let's talk about, I guess, the big reveal at the end of this episode, which is earlier in the episode we saw that Gaku was using some kind of VR tech, only to learn by the end of the episode he's using it in order to control in order to control Shania, in order to partake in the exam before being caught for unauthorized killing, leading to Gaku deciding to go on a rampage. So basically the stage is set for the final battle of this arc, and it's pretty easy to see how this is gonna end, and which is that after defeating Shania, all the applicants are going to get a passing grade to move on to attending the JCC. But I gotta say this as well. The whole thing with the VR set is one of the most frighteningly real moments in the series for me, because let's be real, with AI and VR developments nowadays, the whole setup Gaku is rocking is not only inches away from being a reality now in today's world, but the idea that you could actually control someone with VR, like, yeah, a lot of that is just scary as fuck. And there is an interesting, and aside from that though, there is also an interesting parallel showing in this episode through the instructors, which is that for as much as Uzuki touts the JAA as the most evil organization on the planet, there are still those within it that try to instill the basic principles of camaraderie, teamwork, and respect, which in itself is very revealing to Uzuki's character, that when he does talk about how evil the JAA is, or how evil the JAA are, I think he is talking about someone specific, someone at the top who he personally knows that has abused the power of the JAA, this weird dichotomy kind of proves that the focus of his grudge is a personal one. It's someone he knows and someone who has done something that really affected Uzuki in his past. So it's just a question of what that is, I guess you could say. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, comment on Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll, push the notification bell, subscribe button, and just everyone, guys. Dark Knight of Night signing off. Later, everyone.